Well, those who have been watching the progress of of me machining some discs and some big threaded bar and doing the hex on the end of the 1 3/4 UNF threaded bar. This afternoon I've got time to continue on with some of this job. So what the plan is originally the puller had a piece of 3/4 all threaded rod there, and which was machined down to 5/8, and we had a 30mm thrust bearing down there. And for those who watched the Perkins AD4203, when I was pulling the liners out, one was just too tight and we buggered this bearing up. So I thought, oh well, not to worry, there's always room for improvement. So I found a thrust washer, and this is a needle thrust. It's got, well, probably 8 rollers in it maybe, and with a 3/4 ID. So I thought, well, that fits a bit of 3/4 bar, all thread. So I could machine the back of the disc here to take that, and that would give me a radial thrust, or give me a thrust bearing. So anyway, I went to the auction, as you know, and I found quite a few pieces of 1 1/4 threaded bar. And I thought, wow, look, that's high tensile, that's the go, I'll hop into that. So I got that, and I machined a few 15-16 flats, and this thrust bearing here, if you can see down the side there, that's a thrust off a Ferguson TE20 Kingpin. So at 1 1/4 it fits down here nicely. So what the deal is now, or what I'm up to now, I'm machining the back of the discs to just take that bearing, and that's 55.7mm I think it might be. And so that's a snug fit, but the idea now is to open this centre hole up bigger than this by a couple of millimetres. See, there's a couple of good thrust surfaces in there, and so when the threaded bar is up it, the thrust on the nuts will be on this hardened steel washer, and the tin shield on the back of the bearing, that will sit in the plates here and locate. So because that locates there, and I don't want the threaded bar galling on the inside of the plates here on the puller discs, this is going to have 2 to 3 millimeters clearance on the threaded bar. So that with this holding the threaded bar central, there's no chance of the threaded rod galling or anything like that on the puller discs. So this is the first little disc I've done, and I'm going to, this is the TEA20 disc, and it was just here, so I thought I'd do that. I have the 203 Perkins disc to do the same too, and I have a disc that came with some of that massive Ferguson stuff. I think it's 3 1/8, 4 1/4, and so I'm just going to make up a couple of little plates. I can still use them in the press to press things if I choose to, but they might come in handy just for pulling bearings onto things, and who knows. So I thought I'd make it all match. Now the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a little bush for here to fit 1 1/4 and come back to this 3/4 inch all thread. So if the big threaded rod, the 1 1/4, is too bulky, I can just put a spacer in some of these, and I can bring them all back to 3/4 ID, just in case I want to pull it in with a 3/4 bolt or something like that. So I know you never got the perfect setup, but I don't know, let's have a crack and see. So next up, I'm machining this hole out to take the 1 1/4 threaded bar. So I believe, now the OD is 1.250 1 1/4, I'm playing in metric here, so that's 32. So if I take the ID to 35, that'll give me plenty of room for this threaded bar to come up and have clearance. So I'll shift the chair out of the way here, ready, set, go. Okay, if I have my DRO set properly, and I can't remember if I have or not, that should be 33. $32.9, I think that is. And the ID is not important, it's just to give us clearance, so I'll take it out. I'll try and get rid of that. So I'll try and take it out to around 35 just to give us clearance. So we'll take it out to 34. And we'll just see if it goes. Beautiful. And see, that's the movement I'm looking for. So we'll do a bit of a test run now with the bearing. Oh, I'll give it a bit of a bash, that's alright, eh? So that can turn from the top. I'm yet to weld in this nut here, I just want to do that last, I don't want to get too carried away. And that gives me clearance on the rod itself. So we'll just deburr that. And that should be good enough for this one on what we're doing. We'll pop him off and have a look on the other side. Must be a bit of junk caught in that 6-jaw. Okay, so there's the other side. It's a bit of a rough finish inside. But when we have the bearing all in there lined up, and if I can sit that there like that, that gives me, oh, you can probably see a millimetre all the way around there. So that way I know that the rod is going to pull straight to the disc here. So that'll do that one. I do have to deburr it. You can see a little burr here from pushing all the pushing the tool out the back. So there you go, there's the TE21, and I will make an adapter for some of these for the quarter. I would like to get that a bit neater, but anyway, I don't want to go any bigger, that's just nice. So that's a little disc I made for that. That worked well. Sitting out in the rain we've had, it's getting a bit dicky, so I'll probably give that a little bit of a shine up with a Scotch Brite or something like that. So there you go, one done.